One of the things that's going to bring any character to life a lot more is the eyes. And what we're going to do is create a symbol so the eyes will be able to blink and look around without us creating a lot of extra drawings. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, the first thing I want to do is we're going to grab our eye layer, and I'm going to move our library so we can actually see this. And I'm simply going to select the eye layer and drag it straight to the library. And then I'm going to let go of my mouse. And if you look in our library, we now have an eyes symbol. So I'm going to simply right click on this symbol and select Edit Symbol. And if you look, we only grab the very first frame, so that's only what's visible to us as a single frame. I'm going to adjust this and bring it out at least 3 frames because I want to create a blink. So the first frame, the eyes will be kind of open, and the second frame they'll be a little more closed, and third they'll be fully closed. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in here, just using my scroll wheel real quick. So the first thing I want to do is give our character some eyelids. So we'll draw eyelids in the very first frame here. I'm going to select the second frame, and we'll draw the shape a little more squished down. Same with the second eye. And again, coming with our eyelids, and we're also going to give lower eyelids now. And the third frame, we'll squish this down even further. Now just stretch this out a little bit. And last but not least, I'm going to go ahead and close any gaps that we have. So I'll go to the paint bucket, come to stroke, press the D key so I can see where my lines are. And I'm going to go back each frame and make sure that I don't have any gaps here. And once that is done, I'm going to duplicate this layer. So I'll right click on the layer and select Duplicate Selected Layer. The bottom layer, I'm going to change the name to Whites. And the top layer, we'll change this to Lids. All right, so I'm going to turn off the visibility of the top layer and select the very first frame of the layer called Whites. Let's grab our paint bucket, grab the white color, and we'll fill in just the whites of the eyes. Let's go to the next frame, and again, fill in just the whites of the eyes. And the last frame, we don't fill in anything here. Now we'll lock our bottom layer. Let's go to the top layer, Lids, make sure the visibility is on. And now we're only going to paint the lids. So we'll grab the skin color and we'll paint the lids here. Let's go to the next frame. We'll paint the lids here. And the last frame, we'll paint the lids here. Now, sometimes I'll create a character and make the eyelids a little bit darker, but I'm going to leave these the same for right now. Now, in order to make this work, we're going to have to move the lids layer forward on the Z-axis. Now, in order to do that, I'm going to select the Transform tool, make sure I am in the camera view, and I also want to make sure the Animate button is not on. We're in the camera view, I have my transform tool. I'm going to hold down my Option key, Alt on PC, and I'm going to press the down arrow just once. Okay, so we'll go back to the top view. And right now, our eyes are just simply the original drawing, so we don't have the symbol there just yet. So what I want to do is select our eye drawing, and I'm going to simply press Delete or Backspace. Now I'm going to drag the eye symbol straight from the library to this frame. And we now see the symbol here. Now, last thing we'll do is we'll add the eyeballs. So I'm going to add another drawing layer. Let's go to my paintbrush, grab our default color. Let's change this layer name to eyeballs. And if you note, we've actually placed the eyeballs above the eyes. This is going to give us the opportunity to move the eyeballs around a lot better. So I'm going to simply just draw in some basic little shapes here. And what I'll do next is make sure we set our pivot point correct. And I'll now select our transform tool. Now what I want to show you is the reason we did the eye whites and the eyelids on two different layers and then move the lids forward on the z-axis. It's going to allow us to do this. The eyeballs are on a higher layer, but if you notice, if we move these around, the lids are still covering up the eyes here, but the eyeballs are in front of the whites. And that's pretty much what we wanted. And on the eyes layer, if we select the eyes and use the second drawing, the lids are still working. To make sure we don't take these too far, but we basically now have the eyelids working above the eyeballs, even though the eyeballs are on a higher layer. And with that, we've now rigged our eyes.